mudava aqui um bocadinho de assunto e passava para a imagem. Tenho-vos dito ao longo dos últimos anos que a Esri tem vindo a fazer um trabalho enorme de congregar tudo o que sejam componentes de imagem na sua plataforma. Hoje, nas dimensões da analítica, da visualização e na componente de conteúdos, este ano, inclusive, temos mais de 120 layers daquilo que são as imagens de Landsat dentro da nossa plataforma. Portanto, há cada vez mais componentes tecnológicas, cada vez mais soluções, em particular na área do GeoAI, das quais vocês podem tirar partida. Acelerar uma vez mais o vosso trabalho, automatizar muitos processos de análise de informação que vocês precisam de fazer sobre os conteúdos que vocês têm, sejam eles oriundos de onde vierem. Portanto, há cada vez uma plataforma mais completa à vossa disposição dentro do ArcGIS. Por isso, ninguém melhor do que eu para falar sobre ela que o nosso colega Guenter, que se juntou a nós para vos mostrar. Can use this.
Thanks, Rui. You're asking me to do this in 10 minutes. I can't do it. Impossible. Jack also said, we have so many news there, I can't do it in 10 minutes. But I can do something else. I think I changed my mind. I can do it. I have one message for you, one important message. And that is, rethink your imagery strategy that you currently have in your enterprise. Because as Jack said, we have a lot of things that have evolved over time. And I want to use the rest of the time to make you aware of some of those changes, because the only thing we always have is change, and why you should probably consider to look into what you're doing now and how you could potentially do it different, better, more effective, or with results that you haven't had before. Coming back to the slide that Jack showed and that Rui showed, this is a simplified version, and one of the big changes we actually have is reality mapping, which is your capability of creating content which gets added to the massive amount of content we offer you for use, which I will show you, and then bring that into your information system for what kind of analysis and dissemination and user needs you have. Another way of showing this is like this. This is our idea, our aspiration. We want you to be able to take data of any sensor, whether it's already processed or not, process it or integrate it into your holistic approach of needs you have, and then analyze it and disseminate it to whatever kind of users you have, whether on the web, in the desktop, on mobile phones, wherever you are. The rest of the time I will use to show you a few examples. And the first one I'm going to show you, you actually know. Because last year in the conference, you already had this dramatic wildfire in one of your beautiful natural areas already as a topic. But this time we're going to do exactly what we did last year, but we're just going to do it in ArcGIS Online with data that we provide ready for you and all the analytical capabilities in ArcGIS Online. So you saw this last year. Estrella wildfire, dramatic thing over a few days, destroying a large area of that park. Now we're going to start with just a web map, and to that web map, as the second layer you see, I added the Sentinel-2 layer that we have in the Living Atlas. 27 million Sentinel scenes ready for you to use. But what we can do now is, from this web map, you call our extract service. You ask it to give you some of that Sentinel data into your account to work with it. No download, no hassle on connecting, having an account, whatever, just from your ArcGIS Online. You delineate the area that you need, and now it gets even nicer. This area is an area I need a time span for. So I give it a name where I want to store it, all that. And then I will start defining that I need the images from a certain time span. I create a multidimensional image cube that gets transferred into my account. As soon as I did this, and you see this is very effective, cost-effective, right, to do that. I can go back to my web map and start using the capabilities. It took 26 minutes to transfer these data sets into my account. Now in my web map, I can start applying new templates, visualization templates, to tiled imagery data. So this would be a burn scar analysis, and it's, as you see, time-enabled. Or here, some shortwave infrared visualization where you can see the fires really, really well. But that's only visualization. That's not what a GIS does. We do analysis, right? This is a multidimensional data set. So what I can do now is I can define a function chain that actually analyzes that data set. What I really want is the total fire area. Again, today I can do this in ArcGIS Online. Pre-fire status, post-fire status, subtract them from each other, and give the area some sort of color. I can see whether the routine I defined is working actually fine. Yes, it is. And I always get a back check of how much is that going to cost me. It's going to cost you 10 cents to do that analysis in ArcGIS Online. Now I have this result, right? This is the whole fire area by subtracting 2 points in time. Are we a GIS? Yes, we want this as vectors. So the next function that I can use, and again, I do this in ArcGIS Online, I ask the system to convert this for me into a polygon. I call ArcGIS Online, create a polygon, give it a name to be used in my organization for further analysis or just documentation. And what I get in a second is this polygon that has the typical capabilities of a polygon. I can ask it what its size is, and that's going to be the end of this as soon as the polygon is there. I'm going to click on it and just query the display of that size. Why is it immediately saying 329 kilometers square? Arcade, we just had a demo on it, right? A simple expression. That was my example number 1, using data that we provide access to you, to that data, in this case, the Global Sentinel-2 datasets. The next one is, again, down the line of what Jack and Rui already mentioned, is about reality, about your capability using drones or planes or satellites to create foundational content of your data collection. My example is going to be a city in Germany. And the first thing you have to do, talking about new product reality, but making sure you understand this is also for drones. So the first thing I do when I'm in Germany is I turn the weather to German weather, right? I put on some rain. But I just learned that we have that in Portugal too. I actually didn't know you have rain. I saw it these days. Very amazing. But I want to focus on something different here. I don't want to focus on the 3D. I fully support what Jack said. It's very instructive and everything. I want to focus on the true ortho, the new capability to create really truly always nadir positions on everything, for change detection, for lining up with all your geometries that you have, and, very important, for modern technologies of cleaning up that data, making it much better than just clipping it or doing it, removing water effects, refractions of windows, and stuff like that, sharpening the edges by combining LiDAR data and aerial data and processing it in a different way. And very important, removing moving objects, not only car, but also people. This is a quality of aerial that we never had before. And again, it's not only for this kind of data, it's also for your drones. Back to 3D. Like Jack said, this is much more usable by anyone that doesn't have a clue how to look at an image like that. And it's a living data set. You can work with it. It's not just a picture. I will stop here in a second. My image will just stop. You see there's a little screenshot here saying I can add another building to it. I won't do that because that's a major part of the next presentation that you're going to see. My last example is about data that comes from many, many other sources, actually any other source that you can imagine. You take it with your phone. You have a car driving around that has a sensor on its roof. Or you fly a drone and you want to make use of the individual images. All this is valuable information, source for deep learning, but also source for contextual understanding. The one that I'm showing you also because this capability will become core in the next release of ArcGIS, so you'll have that in a few weeks in every ArcGIS Pro. We're going to a place here in Lisbon. I had to record this video before. I knew my hotel was just around the corner, so actually I got proof that this is really where it is. We're looking at this square. And we're actually checking from a series of more than 1 billion images what other people have seen from a position that we check from. So I checked this position, and please watch what this red triangle does. And I saw that a person by accident took a 360 video standing there. And we always see where he is looking at and what he was actually seeing when he did that. If you do documentation just of a dig up in the ground, or if you want to provide additional context to people, this is a very, very effective way of doing that. These were just simple examples. They could be extended by, as I said, drones, videos, even capturing data inside those images. And in the future, very important, this is a massive source for AI and AI data capturing in the future. But there is another question. The things that I showed you, where can you do them? How can you do them? And it's important to understand you can do them everywhere. If you're a user that is mainly working in a desktop environment, or if you're feeding an enterprise system, or even if you're moving into cloud infrastructures, this technology we have in the imagery space is provided in all of those arenas, I would call it. My last message actually is, to me, the most important one. I'm only talking about imagery. I'm an idiot on imagery, right? But the clue is that this is all integrated into a larger system of other data sources and of other capabilities, of identity, of security, of analytics, and of mixing it with all the other valuable informations that you have. That's what makes ArcGIS the platform that it actually is. Finally, if you find it interesting to talk about imagery, see us this afternoon. And if you want a little challenge that doesn't require anything but a browser and a web connection, do this little exercise down there. We have a huge amount of self-study things on imagery on our Learn platform. Please go ahead. Thank you very much. Back to Rui.